Testing, testing. I believe we might be live right now. No? Okay, I don't know if I'm casting currently. We're having some internet issues. I think we're connected and live. I'm not positive, but it looks like we might be live. You see if you can go to YouTube and pull up, YouTube and it's CoDameron or Bouncing Deathquark. And you just Google Bouncing Deathquark. Okay, so I'm assuming we're live. I don't know if I'll be proved wrong later, but we have Nathan from TTR, previous Vault Tour winner at Richmond, Virginia. He won in the sealed AOA event on our right, and Luke on our left. Two solid players, both playing at 4-0. And yes, we do appear to be live. Excellent. Sorry, we're having some internet technical issues, but we appear to be live. Thank you. Appreciate it. So we are good to go. We are just very early in this game. I think we've only had one turn by each player, maybe two. We have Nathan with a Ward Medic out there with, I believe, Stunner equipped to it, along with a Centurion next to it. And Luke is in a Brobnar turn right now. He's played Narp. Gron Nine Toes on the board. He's playing Ganger Chief to fight Narp into Medic to remove the Ward. And then he's going to fight Ground Nine Toes in there to kill Medic and boost Ground Nine Toes. All right, and welcome everyone to those joining us. Apologies for the technical issues. We appear to be good. It's a high-quality Round 5 matchup between two excellent opponents here at the PAX Unplugged Seal Vault Tour Round 5. Nathan playing Memory Chip, Quant, Engineer, Sanitation Engineer, and Groupthink Tank. Groupthink Tank is the one that, it's not the mini, it's the regular size Groupthink Tank, meaning it has the action that deals 4 damage to each creature that shares a house with its opponents. It will do pretty big damage if it's allowed to interact with Luke's Brobnar board. However, if he uses that action as the board currently exists, it will kill Sanitation Engineer, because Sanitation Engineer has no armor and 4 power, and that will kill it. It will only do 1 damage to the tank, and it will not kill Quant, because Quant is buffered by the Centurion. These are all factors that Luke is considering when he sets up his next turn, which is Brobnar. Now, Luke going into Brobnar here means that Luke has to have a way to deal with Groupthink Tank, and there it is. He kills Groupthink Tank with Narp, and that was mandatory, because if he goes back into Brobnar, plays 2 more creatures, Groupthink Tank will just murder the entire Brobnar board, almost. So instead, Luke opting for a turn of board control here, which is pretty much the only thing that Worlds Collide Brobnar specializes in. Certainly not Amber Control, though it does have some. It's not a specialty in that. So Luke opting to seize control of the board here, and see what that does. The one thing I will say is that because Narp is in the middle of his battle line, that Luke is going to have a harder time taking advantage of that board control with Brobnar, because half his board currently is unable to reap due to Narp's ability until he gets rid of Narp. So if Luke were to go back into Brobnar, he can only reap twice and would have to fight. And he loses a lot of value when he keeps doing that. He does maintain control of the board, but he's not progressing himself towards winning a great deal by that. Although he perhaps judged Nathan's board to be requiring a response, and so that's what he did. Meanwhile, Nathan called Star Alliance, played 2 Kurkars on the end, a Frayne in the middle, no Amber to capture. Luke has not made any Amber this game, I don't believe, yet. So Frayne's not particularly useful at the exact moment, but it's a good long-term threat, and it is under taunt currently. Luke is deciding what house to call. Luke calls Brobnar again, fights Skull into Frayne, kills Frayne, uses Skull's ability to put a +1 pounder on Skull. You could say it's a pile of skulls. And that's how tired I am, given that that's where my humor content is currently. At any rate, Skull kills Frayne, deciding what to do with Narp. He's fighting into Kirkhar with Narp. The problem is that kills Narp, and it does not kill Kirkhar. Well, unless I missed something there, I thought that was a hazardous. I thought Kirkhar was hazardous, but I guess Narp only had 3 damage on it when I think it's hazardous 2. That might, or had 3 damage left. It was hazardous 2. That might be it. So he kills Narp, and then reaps with Grand. Actually, I don't know what happened to Grantos. Well, he did something with Grantos. We're not quite sure. Nathan places second memory chip. Nathan has 2 memory chips. Oh boy, this is going to get a little nuts. So Nathan now archiving 2 cards out of his hand every time he calls Logos, which allows him to filter through deck extraordinarily quickly, and he plays a Titan Guardian. Nathan not hurting for tricks and Logos by any stretch of the imagination. Meanwhile, Luke playing Scudam on something. He's playing Scudam on Brontodon Auxiliary. So there's 2 options there, are best options, are Auxiliary and Philosophosaurus. The argument for putting on a Philosophosaurus is that Philosophosaurus is extremely good action, extremely good reap. So when he reaps in the future, he wants to preserve the ability to do so. Even though he's currently under taunt, putting the armor on him will make it harder to kill him once the taunt has been removed. The argument for putting the armor on Auxiliary is that you're protecting the thing that's taunting things. So if you don't kill the Auxiliary, then it's going to be reasonably difficult, based on the houses that you have, unless you have something like Zap, to get to the Philosophosaurus. But that's the call. We'll see how it works out. Nathan's playing Saurian. Nathan plays Odak, Legatus Raptor? Jeez. Legatus Raptor? Playing Imperium to ward 2 creatures. He's warding the Centurion and the Raptor. Warding the Raptor is great value because that allows you to fight without worrying about the creature dying and get the fight trigger. He's fighting Centurion into Grand Nintos, stripping the ward, killing the creature, capturing the only amber that Luke currently has, playing Ancient Power, which is warding everything with an amber on it, friendly creatures. Wow, this is a good deck. Okay, so Centurion. Centurion, Odak, Legatus, all warded. We're probably going to see a Logos turn next turn, I would imagine, from Nathan. He's got it set up. He's got cards in hand. He's going to archive 2 cards off the top anyway. Nathan explaining something. I don't know what the explanation was there. There was some discussion over Philosophosaurus. Oh boy. Luke plays his second Philosophosaurus. I didn't see whether he got that hit off the first Philosophosaurus, but 1 Philosophosaurus is good. 2 is much better. He plays Sender Strix. He elects not to Exalt Strix. He's not in the Forge range. We had a technical issue, but we should be back up and running. Are you done already?
I've won my game. Oh no.
Colby's back. Well, we fixed it. We were down. I just rebooted the...
Is this the internet?
No, the internet's up. We're up. We got 8 people watching. This is some other adapter that's not the internet. The internet is connected, and we are streaming, and we have 8 people watching.
But it was only 10 minutes, so like.
Right, that's because I rebooted I had to restart the stream. I stopped the stream on here and got it back up.
Okay.
Yep. but we got pretty much all the match. Meanwhile, these two monsters are... No problem. These two monsters are battling in the midway here, and we got Failing Strike. I think Luke is still deciding the Failing Strike hits. So he can hit twice for 5 damage. He's electing to strip the ward on Legatus Raptor and perhaps kill Legatus Raptor? I don't think he has shadows. I don't know what Luke's third house is because I can't see his Archon card. I don't know how much he cares about ODAC. I'm guessing he doesn't care a great deal about ODAC because he just kills the Raptor. He realizes the damage that can do. He exalts Auxiliary, reaps with Auxiliary. He's now at 3, and he has a very threatening Saurian board from the perspective of doing a lot of damage. Well, metaphorical damage, not actual damage, to game state. He's got Philosophosaurus, allows him to read through deck. Speaking of Philosophosaurus, everyone's got him. Nathan plays Philosophosaurus up top, plays Redder. These are some excellent Saurian houses. I anticipated a Logos turn. I was wrong. We are instead maximizing out Saurian here. I think Nathan might also be thinking about playing a Failing Strike. I don't know what Nathan has in hand. If Nathan has a Failing Strike, 100% he should kill both Philosophosaurus right now. If that's what he has. And that is what he has, and we'll see if that's what he does. In my opinion, that's a very straightforward decision, unless he's very concerned about Strix for some reason. I don't think you want to kill Auxiliary. I think you take out the Philosophosauruses right now. It's totally worth the extra Amber. We'll see if he agrees. But the Philosophosauruses are so good. And they cannot be allowed to live. One thing he could be thinking about was, he could be thinking about fighting with a Centurion to kill the outside Philosophosaur. The problem is, if he kills one of the Philosophosaurs with Failing Strike first, the other Philosophosaur will collapse under the taunt of the Centurion, of the Auxiliary, excuse me, not Centurion, and it will be under taunt. So now the third option, door number 3, which is the one Nathan has chosen, which is to kill the Auxiliary by using both Failing Strike hits on the Auxiliary. Now he does have the ability to attack into, which is what he is doing. He's going to attack with Centurion, kill Philosophosaurus, capture 1. Question is he going to attack him with the Yoda? Yes, he is. Okay, so his long-term plan was to kill the Auxiliary straight off, and that may be the better plan, because now Luke doesn't have anything to hide, any taunt to hide under anymore. So that's just an interesting examination there of how players can handle it differently. There's a reason Nathan is playing right now. I think that's probably the correct decision. Although, here's the one counter-argument. The one counter-argument to the way Nathan did it is by clearing all 3 of those pieces. He did not put himself on check, right? He's still at 5. So if he had not cared about the Auxiliary, just killed both the Philosophosaurus and reaped to 7, he'd be in check for key 1. And in my opinion, that is probably better than having one open taunt thing on the end and 2 Philosophosaurs. Probably better, but it's a marginally close decision. I do think putting yourself in check is incredibly important, especially since he has an ODAC. His opponent's calling Shadows, but unless he deals with ODAC, he can't steal any, which is the main Amber control mechanic at Shadows, other than something like Hugger Mugger. Instead, Luke is free to call a house that doesn't have any Amber control, freely go into a turn where he doesn't have to take Nathan off check because he's not on check. So I think ultimately, even though it's reasonably close, I still think I come down in favor of a different line than what Nathan took for that reason. But, again, we're early in the match. We'll see how much the incremental value of being on check is in this particular matchup. I think it's fairly high, but Nathan's deck looks like it might be very fast. We haven't seen a lot of Star Alliance. I think we might have seen some earlier, but we've mostly seen Saurian and Logos here. Surely this has to be... Well, it doesn't have to be a Logos turn. It could be another Saurian turn to maximize board, kill the 2 creatures on the board. rendering the Philosophosaurus Enrage irrelevant, Reap with Philosophosaurus, Reap with Redder. But instead, he's going to call Logos and use the 2 memory chips to archive 2 cards, probably for an Explosive Saurian turn next turn, I would guess. He archives 2 cards. I think I saw Wormhole earlier in Nathan's hand, so we're probably going to see Wormhole now. The only reason we wouldn't see Wormhole is if he's got some sort of very bad, like, regrettable Meteor in deck that he wouldn't want to have the chance of hitting, because that would be super bad. So we'll see what happens. He plays Wormhole tech. He does play Wild Wormhole, and he wormholes into another wormhole. It's Wormholeception here at PAX Unplugged. Gets another Amber. Wormholes into Red Alert. Doesn't do anything, but if he had a card he was trying to avoid with that wormhole, he successfully avoided it. I do not know if that was the case, but he did avoid it. He avoided anything bad happening to his creatures. I do not know if something bad could have happened, is what I'm trying to say. At any rate, we are at a point in the match where Luke is going to have an answer to this board state very quickly. Luke would like to find... Again, I don't know Luke's third house. I've seen Brobnar, I've seen Shadows. I'm looking at his hand. Saurian. Saurian's his third house. Gosh, if Luke is a regrettable Meteor, now would be a pretty good time. That would kill, we'll kill the Dinos. And there's no ward on the board currently, so that would get very good value if he had it. I don't know that he has it. I think he would have windmill slammed it by now. And he wouldn't have played Dinos first, so he probably doesn't have it in hand. He's playing... Is that Philosophosaurus 3? Did I miss a bounce, or does he really have 3 Philosophosauruses in deck? Is insane. If I'm reading that correctly, we'll see. He plays Dukes. I like to call it the Grimlock's Dukes of Hazard. He's got Redder at the bottom. He's got the aforementioned Philosophosaurus and another Legatus Raptor up top. All sorts of Saurian value. However, Nathan now has a board presence and he's facing a decision. He's going to Forge right now. Oh, no, he played Redder. So Nathan, his keys cost 9. Nathan does not Forge. So he's got a judgment call here. He can go into Logos, filter through his deck more. He could go into Saurian, perhaps utilize some of that beef to take care of the board, although the Grimlock's Dukes is 11 power. So that's going to be really hard to kill with what he's got. Maybe he's looking in his deck for answers to the Dukes to try to figure out how to do that. Red Alert might have been one of those answers, not with this board state, obviously, but it could have been an answer. He doesn't have that currently. So he's probably looking in his deck to figure out what can I draw here that is going to result in me being able to deal with this board that Luke has. Or he might also be asking himself, do I care? In other words, is my board of such a quality that I am fine pushing the tempo, reaping with the creatures I have, and forcing him to come up with the options? The one counter position to that is that Luke has a Redder on board directly under taunt, while Nathan does not. Nathan has a Redder on board, but it is not directly under taunt, so it is available to be killed on Nathan's next turn. And we do not know if that will take place, but we do know that it's a distinct possibility. These are all factors Nathan's considering. How much do I push? Should I spend time protecting my creatures? How much do I value getting to check? Nathan might also be thinking, if I get to 9 here, is there any possibility that Luke just decides to do a little bit of board control, but then use Redder to allow me to Forge at 9 and force me to spend all my Amber? A lot of times in Keyforge, especially early on in the matchup, it's better to have your opponents pay all of their Amber to Forge a key, especially if it's key 1. It's better to have your opponents pay to forge all of their Amber, pay to forge a key with all their Amber, if doing so would allow, if doing so takes all their Amber out of the pool. That's often a better move than just increasing their key cost so they can't actually forge. So it really depends on the situation here. If these are all factors going on in Nathan's mind, what do I want to do? What am I going to draw into? And even knowing what I'm going to draw into, what is likely, at the higher levels, you start thinking about, well, what is my opponent likely to do next turn if I take this action? What sort of cards is he likely to have? And if he takes that action, what things can I do in response? So there are all sorts of different levels of analysis going on here in the minds of both players. I don't know if Nathan's called a house yet. He's currently thinking about his options. pondering the nature of the universe, wondering what deck is going to win the next pool in the TTR tournament. Looks like he is playing Saurian because he just fought Philosophosaurus into Dukes to put 2 damage on Dukes. That to me indicates that he's likely to put more damage on Dukes. He kind of recognizes that the taunt in this deck that Luke is playing does present the biggest problem to him when it's protecting things like Philosophosaurus and Redder. He really wants to get rid of Dukes. So this is interesting. So he's fighting Redder into Dukes. He's fighting Centaurian into Dukes. He's sacrificing the majority of his board just to kill Grimlock's Dukes. Now, we have to figure out... Now, obviously, clearly to do that, you have to really want Dukes dead. And I wonder if he's got a follow-up to that. He did clear the board, allowing him to kill... Not clear the board, but he cleared the way to allow him to kill Philosophosaurus. But he gave up so much value to do that, right? He gave up several creatures with Amber on it. He actually, because he fought with Redder, he allowed Luke to be on check and is probably going to give him a key here, all for the price of killing Grimlock's Dukes. Now, he himself is on check. He's in check at 9. I will note that he did not kill Redder. He killed Philosophosaurus rather than Redder. That's a judgment call that's rough to make. It's a tough judgment call. However, by not killing Redder, I guess what you're saying is, if you really, hoping Luke didn't draw any more Saurian, if you're saying, well, if you really drew like 1 or 2 cards of Saurian and you want to play Saurian again just to make me pay 9 and maybe use Legatus Raptor to do something, I'm willing to take the exchange to let you take functionally a turn off and go forward from there. Hold on 1 second. He forgot to... oh, nope, never mind. He got it. He initially forgot to ready his creatures at end of turn, and he's done that now. Okay. So if you're Luke, you're sitting here, you're looking at... You have Fortune Key, your opponent's on check for 9. Wildly gesticulating with his hands. We don't know what he's saying, but your opponent's on check for 9. Nathan does have a very intimidating board presence. He's looking down Logos. He's got Daughter, Wormhole Tech, the Guardian in Logos, and then he's got all sorts of Saurian stuff. He's got Odak. He's got Strix, 2 Strix. He's got Centurion. I forget what the 3-power creature is that boosts all your creatures for the Amber on it, but that's at the top of the screen. He's also got a Gargantodon, so he's preventing stealing. So if you're in Luke's seat, you really want to be thinking about, what answers do I have to this situation? Because if he does not come up with an answer to this board presence, he's going to lose. Unless he has some sort of miraculous stuff in his deck that we don't know about, which is entirely possible, but pretty unlikely. So he's looking down his hand. He doesn't have Saurian creatures in his hand. He's got Brobnar cards. He's got Shadows cards in his hand. Shadow Steel doesn't work because of Odak, so he has to find a way to kill Odak, or the Steel won't work if he's got any Steel at all in the first place. What he really, really needs, though, is a way to deal with his board, and we don't know if he has it. If he has Axiom, Axiom is extremely good right now on this board. Obviously, he doesn't have it in hand, but if he has it remaining in deck to draw into, it would be very good, because that would definitely be a response. But also, one of the other things Luke is thinking about is if I spend all my time simply responding to this board state, Nathan will be able to push whatever advantage it is, even if I make the advantage smaller. He'll still be able to push the advantage. So he's kind of in a very tough situation here, because he doesn't know whether or not making Nathan spend all his Amber is a good thing, or whether trying to deal with the board is a good thing. If Luke has any answers in deck to this board state, though, what he definitely wants to do is he wants to cycle through cards as quickly as he can to try to find it. Because if he spends a turn cycling cards, he might have at most 2 turns to come up with a response to the situation, or he's just completely dead in the water. He probably has less. Realistically, if he doesn't have an answer this turn, he's got to have an answer next turn, so he's got to he's got to find the answer. Okay, so this is interesting. So he plays Snecklifter. He takes a memory chip away from Nathan. The memory chip is of no use to him because the language on memory chip says after you call Logos, he's never going to call Logos. But he is doing the thing I suggested. Luke is cycling through his deck, getting through as many cards and shadows as he possibly can. Many cards in hand as he possibly can, which the most cards he had in hand was shadows, which is 4. So he is going to be cycling through shadows. And it looks like he came up, yes, he had sack of coins there. He was able to kill Odak, which is extremely important if he has any steel. We haven't seen steel yet. I think that might be Vinda and the Claire up top. I'm not sure, but it's Hugger Mugger, Snecklifter to take the memory chip, and some creature up top. I don't know. He's going to use Skeleton Key to have a creature capture. He's going to capture one on... Not sure what the correct call is here. He's going with Skull. Okay. The theory there is if you can't directly protect the Amber, you just diversify the Amber across your creatures so that they'd have to have a board clear or attack into multiple creatures to get the Amber back. Okay. So the floor is announcing 10 minutes for the round. However, Nathan and Luke had a deck check at the beginning of round, so they will be given a time extension after the deck check. Okay, so on the outer tables, I'm finding out that my teammate Z has just won the round, so Z is 5-0, will be advancing to day 2. Congratulations to Z. Meanwhile, in this tournament, this game that we're seeing at tables, we are seeing Nathan go back into Saurian, going to utilize the board advantage. He unstuns Gargantodon. He reaps with Strix, is probably going to exalt Strix, I would imagine, because he's under taunt. Yep. He'd like to push advantage as quickly as he can, probably. He's fighting Centaurian into... Was that Redder? Yep. Killing Redder. That's good. He's going to exalt... I said Centaurian. I think it's Stenopolis, or... I'll get the name of that card, but... Okay. All right, so Nathan is, after utilizing all of his Saurian creatures, is readying up. Apologies for the slight gap there. I was in the process of getting reports from the outer table. I have received a report that Justin from TTR, Nathan's partner, Justin, who just won the Archon Vault Tour this morning, actually this afternoon, is 5-0 and has secure a spot tomorrow in Vault Tour. Justin will have the very impressive opportunity to be the first person ever to win both sets of a Vault Tour, which would be, it's got to be the most, it would have to be the most impressive accomplishment in Keyforge. But, neither here nor there at the moment. His business partner and friend Nathan is struggling, not struggling, is duking it out here, if you will, and looks to have a pretty favorable board position. He's at 4 Amber and 1 Key. I believe Luke is deciding what to do here. Luke's looking at 3 Brobnar cards in hand, a Saurian, a Shadows. Did he have Chains? I don't know why he only has 5 creatures in hand, or 5 cards in hand. Oh, no, there's an extra one at the end there. Sorry. 2 Shadows, 1 Saurian, 3 Brobnar. He's got a board of 3 Shadows creatures. Again, I think that's Vinda at the end. I can't tell. Let me go look. So I did confirm for the viewers on stream that the top card on the left side here, the top card of Luke's board is J Vinda, 2 power elusive reap, deal 1 damage if you kill the creature, steal 1. So we have J Vinda, Snecklifter, Hugger Mugger, Legatus Raptor, and Skull. Skull. He played Barn Raising so that Nathan loses an Amber, and he killed, or he killed? No, he just did 3. What did he do? I apologize, stream. He attacked something, but in attacking something, he caused barn raising to be triggered, which means that Nathan lost an amber. He's down to 3. Looks like he's got Tremor in hand, and I think that's... Is that Narp? Does he have a Narp? Okay, so he was deciding what to attack. That's why we didn't know. He did attack the wormhole tech. He killed the wormhole tech with assault. That's why he got power tokens. He played Tremor to stun the top 3 Saurian things, and then he did play Narp at the bottom. Luke passing back, obtaining some control over the board with those stuns. Nathan has to decide now if he wants to go into Logos, play Logos some more, call Saurian, and unstun his dudes, or do something else. Nathan opts to go into Logos, archives a card off memory chip. Hurts a little, probably, to lose the second memory chip. You could see the second memory chip over on Luke's side of the board. It might seem a little odd because Luke's not playing Logos, but that memory chip was snack lifted by Luke over to the other side of the board just to keep it away from Nathan. Luke, even though the memory chip technically converts to shadows, it does not change the text of memory chip, which says after you try to call Logos, archive a card. So that means that Luke is unable to use it functionally. He's just having it there to keep it away from Nathan. Nathan, meanwhile, during his Logos turn, playing Reaping with Daughter, playing out Babbling Bibliophile, playing a Groupthink Tank at the top. I don't know that we're going to see that Groupthink Tank activated, but the Groupthink Tank is an action. It's not a Reap. The trigger is not on a Reap, so it can definitely be used to Reap. Nathan elects to burn the ward on the Guardian in order to kill Skull and put Skull in the graveyard. Skull was getting pretty big, so that's probably an excellent idea. Oh, and Nathan plays Knowledge is Power, which comes down for 5, I think. Wow, that's a big Knowledge is Power hit. That is a major Knowledge is Power hit. That's very impressive. Okay, so these are 2 really good decks. I mean, based on what we're seeing, Nathan's might be a little bit better. But both players trying to take full advantage of it. Luke in a tough spot now. He's facing down an opponent who has 9 amber, is on check for 9, has all these cards on board. The Saurian stuff is stunned for the most part. However, it's just, there's so much stuff. So he's calling Shadows, going to utilize the hand as best he can. He's got 3 Shadows creatures on board. Subtle chaining, discarding a card at random from Nathan's hand. Discards Medic. No, we haven't seen Nathan play Star Alliance, I think, at all, but certainly not very much. I would assume that most of those cards in Archives are Star Alliance because we just haven't seen them. If he did play Star Alliance, it's been so long ago in the hand that I just don't remember. So long ago in the game that I just don't remember because it's just gone on for a while. Luke plays, I think, another Vinda. J Vinda. Oh, and I think that's a third J. Does he have 3 J Vindas? Trust no one to steal one. We can see now why he needed to kill Odak, because he's got all these stealing mechanics. The double J Vinda, maybe triple J Vinda. Actually, that might be a Vinda. Hold on. Just a moment. Okay, I can confirm that the 3 creatures at the top of Luke's board are J Vinda, and A Vinda, going from bottom to top. So he's got 2 of the J Vindas, and the one very top is the A Vinda. So he's got 3 Vindas. He's going to be doing a lot of pinging. The pinging is an excellent response to wards. So he could use the pinging to kill something, as he did there for the Bibliophile. That was a J Vinda, so that should steal 1. He did. He got Nathan all the way down to 6. But the pinging, even if you can't kill a creature, you can use it offensively to strip wards before dealing with anything. The problem is in Shadows, he doesn't have any beef, so he can strip the wards, but he's not likely to be able to follow up and kill the creatures. Nathan had Strix, so he's able to use Strix to forge his second key by using all the Amber off Strix, leaving him with 2 in pool. Now Nathan has a dilemma. And it's not a dilemma in the typical sense of the word, in that that both of the options are bad. Both the options are probably pretty good. He has 3 options here. He can go to Star Alliance, likely pick up his archive, which I'm assuming is mostly Star Alliance. He's got to have some Star Alliance cards in hands at this point, since he's played very little of it, if any, during this game. And build out a board that way, maybe cheat in some stuff, generate a little bit of Amber. Or he can call Saurian, strip all the stuns off Saurian and make use of the Gargantodon and maybe play a card or two. Or he could call Logos, reap with the 2 creatures, archive a card from the memory chip, use or reap with the Groupthink Tank, and maybe have some Amber out of hand. All 3 options are potentially viable depending upon what exact cards he has in archive or hand. We don't know for sure what those are as we sit here. So what he chooses to do will tell us a lot about the contents of his hand and archive. So he is calling Logos. He chooses to fight the Titan Guardian into the Legatus Raptor, killing it, getting the card draw trigger. The Guardian is so good. Oh, he's going to use the action, which is very good. It's going to kill the entire Shadows board. It is going to, unfortunately, target his own board. However, due to the power of the ward, it only strips the wards off Senator Strix and Stenopius. So that is an amazingly good turn. He wormholes into a Lieutenant Kirkar, which does not have a pip on it. I don't know if he has any more pips in hand. He's at 5 now. He plays a second wild wormhole. Oh, goodness. He wormholes into a Blaster, or I think that might be Stunner. I think that's Stunner. He's going to put Stunner on something. He's going to increase his Amber currently to 7. Do not know if Luke will have anything to follow up this on.
What time was his call?
In there, or in the whole room? They got an extension. They were deck checked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you said time was called, like loudly in the room, time was called?
I think beat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. They have an extension. Time was called in the room, but these two players started late because they were both deck checked randomly before the round. Yeti is doing deck checks on several of the top tables randomly throughout this tournament, and which is very good. So they were deck checked. I'm being told that they have approximately 5 minutes left in the round. So forgive me while I was determining that. I don't quite know what Luke did. I don't know if he did anything. He might be thinking. It does look like Luke Forge's second key. Or maybe Nathan is still thinking about his options. I don't think so, because Nathan's cards are ready. Luke is now looking at his card. Luke has to be thinking about if there's anything he can do to try to take Nathan off check. He has a Skeleton Key, which can capture 1 onto his NARP or any other creature he plays. So if there is any way he can increase key cost by 1 or steal 1, in addition to the Skeleton Key in Shadows, then he would be able to take Nathan off check. But I'm looking at his hand as he's flipping through, and obviously I'm not 100% sure what his cards are, but I don't think he has any answers. There is an Iron Obelisk on play. Forgive me, I have not noticed the Iron Obelisk. So he has an Obelisk on play. He's going into Saurian, though. I think he played Scudam. He's going to play his 3rd Amber. He is stomping his own creature. I do not know what is happening. He stomped his own creature. Okay, that's apparently it. Nathan is 5-0. Nathan has secured his berth in day 2 of this tournament. Luke, not out of the tournament yet. He is 4-1. He will have an opportunity to advance in the tournament in round 6 by beating his opponent in round 6. Nathan revealing his archive, which included Frayne, Censor Chief Garcia. I think that's Quadricorder. I think he has a Book of IEQ. Am I reading that correctly? And Red Alert? You've got to be kidding me with these things. Well, that is a deck, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the decks in the world, that is certainly one of them. And a damn good one. All right. I'll try to get some more information for you as we go. I'm going to go and check on the competitors a little bit. Because this match was already announced in the period of time when it went to time, I believe that we will be starting round 6 reasonably soon. We're going to have pairings, but this match ended technically just past time because it was given a time extension. So we will be starting round 6 very soon. Hang in there. I'm going to see if I can get some information from the competitors. Figure out anything else that's going on. I'm also being told that Dave Cordero made day 2 in this tournament. This tournament is stacked. Is absolutely stacked. Reading random chat, I believe, hold on. Just a moment. So responding to a couple questions or requested comments I got in chat, this is Luke, a.k.a. Logatarian Luke on the left there. So Luke is 4-1. He will have the opportunity to win. He'll have a win-in next round on the 4-1 bracket. And if he wins, he's in. Nathan is already in. Z is already in. Dave Cordero is already in. And Justin from TTR is already in. Man, if you are not doing anything tomorrow around 10 o'clock in the morning and you like Keyforge, let me tell you, you are going to see matches of absolute titans in the game tomorrow. I could promise you that already based on the 4 people I have confirmed are 5-0 and will be guaranteed in the day 2. So you're going to have absolute matches of titans tomorrow. And so we're going to see. You know who all the you're 4-1?
I'm 4-1.
You know who the 5-0s are? Let me tell you who the 5-0s are that I was just telling the stream.
Okay.
Let me tell you, these are the people that are guaranteed to be in day 2.
Okay.
Tell me what you think about this for a viewing experience tomorrow.
It's Dave Cordero.
We got Dave Cordero. We got Big Z. We got Justin.
Z's 5-0?
We got Justin. And we got Nathan. Both from TTR, both winners of, I believe, the last 2 Vault Tours.
Wow.
You want to talk about mandatory watching for Keyforge tomorrow?
That's
starting
crazy.
Around 10. I cannot tell you how nuts that is.
I mean, good players win games.
Yes.
And there's a lot of there's still some 4-1s being decided right now. Man, how did this go?
This was a great match.
Yeah.
Both decks are very good. His deck is disgusting. Like, Nathan has a disgusting. I mean, they're both excellent players. They're both very top tier players. His deck is utterly gross.
Wow.
And he didn't even play one of the houses 95% of the game.
Which one? No, don't tell me.
Starlights.
Really?
Oh no! He just lived in board. You'll watch it back later. You'll see. You're still live in the tournament, so we'll
I'll
save
watch
you
it
some of
back
the
after
analysis.
the tournament. Wow. Okay.
It was top tier stuff, man.
Thank you for casting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the music on, and then we'll be back for round 6. Win and in round.
Win and in round.
All right. See you guys soon. Thanks for casting.
Yeah, of course, man. It's fun.
forward once again. Let's see what kind of weather. And we're really having the weather these days, I'll tell you. There's a warm front way out on the coast there, coming on into the Ohio Valley, joining up the low pressure area right here in Indiana. And from out of that low comes a cold front down through Kentucky and all the way into Texas. Quite a bit of squall line activity. Number one, starting here in Virginia and coming on down through South Carolina and Georgia. Another squall line right off the coast there and through Louisiana and almost into Texas.
Right, we are coming back. We are coming back to the games. This is round 6. Winning in. I don't know who's going to be on stream, but Eric's going to do this cast again. So I'll set it up for him. And good luck to the players.
Okay, so we are going to have a playing in matchup for round 6, excuse me. It's been a long day. We're going to have Stephanie Tripp versus oh no, I did it again. Hold on, sorry. Logistics. I'm sorry. Sorry, viewers. Fixing the labels, having issues. We're almost ready. Okay. There we go. One moment. Be right back. Okay, so welcome back. We are live for round 6 of Pax Unplugged. These two players are 5-1. 4-1, excuse me. They're playing to be 5-1. And thus I've labeled this round win and in. The winner of this match will be going on to one of the most, if not the most, star-studded day 2s in the history of Keyforge. And the loser will unfortunately be eliminated from the tournament at 4-2. So we are getting geared up to play here. Of interesting note, as if to taunt me, both of the decks in this round contain Worlds Collide Brobnar. So that, to me, is exceptionally interesting, as I generally find Brobnar to be lacking. I will admit that it is better in Sealed than it is in Archon. In terms of Worlds Collide Brobnar specifically, because, again, I mentioned this in a previous round, but the decks having non-optimized particular... the decks not having optimized efficient routes a lot of the time in Archon, removing things on board in a bit slower fashion as you would with Brobnar can be more efficient. So we'll see how Brobnar plays a role in this matchup. Obviously, both players have it. Stephanie has won the die roll to play first. She's drawn 7 cards. Nick second with 6 cards. And although no one person is defined by their gender by any means, we're happy to see Stephanie here in the top tables in Keyforge. I'm always excited to see a diverse group of players in Keyforge. Women, people of color, LGBT folks. Very happy that everyone is involved in Keyforge, and that Keyforge is, to me, one of the more welcoming communities that I've known, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Happy to be bringing you this round. And I'm sure the players are very nervous, but also happy to be playing in what is a very high-stakes game of Keyforge. And away we go. Stephanie is considering her mulligan on opening hand. I think she's saying that she's going to keep. She's choosing her turn 1 play here. Let's see what kind of... And again, along with you viewers, or I assume along with you viewers, I have no information whatsoever about the contents of these decks other than the cards you see in front of you. I do not know what cards each other holds. Obviously, each other... I would venture a guess that both of these players do not have terrible Brobnar suites. If they had terrible Brobnar suites, it'd be difficult to get to 4-1. But 4-1 they are. Stephanie starts out with a Brontodon Auxiliary. Taunty, Hazardous. Solid start. Nick's going to go into Brobnar, playing a Grok, an Alaka, a Slimy Jerk, and pass. Slimy Jerk is an interesting one. I haven't seen it used a lot in Sealed. Certainly not in Archon. It's skirmish. It's got a trigger to enrage the creature that it fights. Unfortunately, the taunt here is going to render that likely to be not of particular use until Stephanie's board develops. Enraging a 6-power taunter, I guess, means that you force it to fight, but the thing with Slimy Jark is until you kill the Slimy Jark, enraging something and being able to fight Slimy Jark is a thing that you could do fairly easily. Okay, so Stephanie plays an Iron Staff and Mega Ganger Chieftain, not to be confused with regular Ganger Chieftain, to kill Grok. And her own Slimy Jark. Man, this is a battle of Slimy Jarks. Here in round 5. So Auxiliary has Taunt. It's protecting the Mega Ganger Chieftain as if it needed any protection. It is very big. The one strategic point in that turn that I would note is that Stephanie made a deliberate decision not to protect Slimy Jark under the other taunt of Auxiliary. I think that's correct for a number of different reasons. Almost certainly she has something in her deck that's a better thing to protect than Slimy Jark. You don't really care if Slimy Jark dies, because especially when you're facing Brobnar, because a lot of Brobnar wants to fight anyway. So it's not as though Slimy Jark is likely to be of particular use. It leaves that open for the future. Even though it does have 5 power on it, who knows? Maybe she's got a way to heal it. She's got a way to make use of it. Meanwhile, Nick plays out 2 Star Alliance creatures. Armsmaster Melina and Helmsman Spears. Helmsman Spears is an amazing card if it stays on the board to reap, because Helmsman Spears allows you to filter your entire hands. You dump whatever cards you don't want. A lot of times it's just dump non-Star Alliance cards, draw new cards, hopefully with your Star Alliance. It goes through your deck very fast. It is a priority target that should be killed. It is next to Armsmaster Melina, so it has the ability to, so it's hazardous. However, so she's going into Saurian, she plays Library Polysaurus. It looks like she discarded Axiom. Now that's a very interesting choice. I don't know if that's correct. So she plays Cincinnatus Rex, Odak, and I can't see, I think that's Tribune Pompatus. Wow, that's a Saurian set right there. Cincinnatus Rex, Odak, and Tribute. She's going to Reap with Auxiliary. So discarding Axiom is interesting there, because if you play Axiom, you would probably ward, you could ward the Auxiliary. It's only 5 power, but it is Saurian. You're likely to be going back to Saurian soon. Or you could ward something like the Mega Ganger Chieftain, kill everything else, and then play out your Saurian creatures. I think that I probably would have played Axiom there. You do get... Yeah, she should have 6 in hand. She's drawing up as if she had a chain, but she didn't play Axiom, she discarded it. So meanwhile, playing Axiom would have importantly killed Helmsman Spears, which she did not do. It would also kill Armsmaster Melina. You don't care so much about the Brobnar creatures on the board on his side, but not playing Axiom there allows him to go back into Star Alliance and use Helmsman Spears for great effect. However, Nick does not particularly punish that decision yet, anyway, by going into Brobnar, playing out a Shattered Throne. He's going to fight Slimy Jark into something. Oh, he's going to fight it until Auxiliary. Oh, no, he can't. I mean, he could, but the hazardous would kill Slimy Jark, so maybe he's figuring that out right now. Both players being cordial with each other and allowing retractions of initial decisions when they are pretty objectively wrong and obviously wrong and immediately rescinded. That's kind, but that is not something that is required at this level of competition. I would always allow that at anything below the main event of a vault. And even in the main event of vault when I'm no longer in contention for making day 2. However, this is a very, very important matchup. So both players, of course, are free to accord each other with all the consideration in the world. But it's important for all the players to make sure, those watching at home, when you're doing this sort of thing, you want to make sure that you have full awareness of your actions and make sure that you think about them in advance. Not criticizing any of the players in this particular round, but saying in general, it's a good philosophy. But it's also okay to allow your opponent to take back move if you would like to do so. No obligation whatsoever. Meanwhile, Nick plays Ragawarg, which reads, it's an artifact, static ability. It says, the first time a creature reaps a return, after a creature reaps, it's the first time a creature has reaped this turn, deal 2 damage to it. So Ragawarg, I don't know, will do a lot of work against this board that Stephanie has, unless for some reason she decides to reap with Slimy Jark, but because the Saurian stuff is so big. So dealing 2 damage to it is not particularly amazing. I'll tell you what, though, by playing Ragawarg, Nick has set himself up for something. If he goes into Star Alliance, he's only going to get 1 reap with Helmsman Spears unless he reaps with something else first, because he's going to kill Helmsman. So that's... I don't know that I would have played Ragawarg there, given this board. The 1 Amber didn't put him on check. It didn't do anything else productive. other than just get an Amber, and I don't know that it's worth an Amber when you have these important Star Alliance creatures you want to protect, but maybe he just assumes they're going to go away anyway. Stephanie, meanwhile, is playing a Saurian turn. She is enraging one of her creatures. I think that Slimy Jerk fought into Odak a while ago and she forgot to enrage. I think that's what happened there. So she's enraged Slimy Jerk. So Stephanie is in the middle of a Saurian turn. She plays Failing Strike to kill Slimy Jerk? And she's exalting Odak. Exalting Odak is a great target. We don't know how much steel Nick has in his deck, but exalting Odak immediately reactivates the Odak trigger static ability, which says that stuff can't be stolen. So that's a prime target to exalt in general, but specifically good here. Pompatus is a major piece in this puzzle for Stephanie, assuming she continues with the round. Continues with the board presence that she's established in Saurian. Pompatus will allow all creatures to get increased power for the Amber that they have on it, and unless Nick specifically has something like, well, based on the houses he had, he could have a rare in Brobnar called Ragnarok. That's a board clear. He could have Red Alert, but unless he gets it soon, once the Pompatus engine starts going, it's not going to matter if he has Red Alert and gets it later, because the things are going to get Amber on it, and then it's going to get bigger. I don't know that there's a lot of good board clears in Dis. Hysteria would be a thing that would be very bad if she starts getting a Pompatus engine going. I do not know why Amber was captured on Pompatus. I think maybe they just exalted Pompatus again and they used Nick's Amber. I think that might have been it. Either way, it appears as though there's Amber of two different kinds on Pompatus. Odak has an Amber on it. She's using Library to move an Amber. The danger in moving an Amber off Pompatus is that you move him closer to death. I don't know exactly what's happening here. Oh, Cincinnatus Rex dies. That is unfortunate because you killed all the creatures on the side. Oh, right. So damage was done to Odak, I'm guessing, because Odak reaped. And Ragwarg says that when that happens, the first time it happens, you deal damage. But Stephanie has, unfortunately, lost her Cincinnatus Rex, but it's worth it to get rid of Helmsman. I don't know if I would have kept another creature on board just so the Rex was live. You allow Nick to kill the creature to play into that. We haven't seen anything that would turn Rex into truly insane combo quality, such as Legatus Raptor helps, but if Stephanie has like a Spiral in her deck, that's real good with Cincinnatus Rex. We don't know any of these things, but we do know that Rex is now dead. Long live Rex. And that Stephanie has dominant board presence. I believe Nick has no Amber, no keys, 2 static artifacts on the board. Oh, excuse me. I know why the reason why all these creatures were capturing Amber. It's been a little while today. It's been a long day. I'm a little tired. Shattered Throne. Shattered Throne is double-sided. Shattered Throne says whenever a creature fights, it captures 1 Amber. That's why all these creatures who were killing Nick's board were capturing Amber from Nick. Okay, that makes total sense. Meanwhile, Nick is in Dis. He's playing Festering Touch. He's going to deal enough damage to 2 creatures to kill it. He's killing Slimy Jark, and he's killing the Taunter Saurian, whose name I'm forgetting at the moment. He then plays Infernus. He's going to purge some cards out of her deck. 100% I would purge Cincinnatus Rex. If you go to her deck, he does have the option of thinning his deck. Yep, and I'd probably keep, Failing Strike. That will take an Amber away from Stephanie, and Cincinnatus Rex will, they got the Amber. Cincinnatus Rex will, is just a great card to take out of play. So now, even if she cycles deck back and finds Spiral, if she has Spiral, we don't know, she will not be able to do crazy combos with that. Draining Touch to kill Philosophosaurus. That's an important piece to kill. Philosophosaurus, as we saw last round, can do some truly strange things. Oh, and he does have Hysteria. Ooh, okay. All right, now Nick is in business here. Nick has Hysteria'd multiple Amber off of creatures. He's Hysteria is an amazing counter to Saurian. He's Hysteria'd creatures, and now he gets to play Infernus again. Infernus Hysteria is an excellent combo in Worlds Collide, Sealed, or Archon, especially when you're playing against Dinos, because most Dino decks do a lot of defense against board clears. They protect against Axiom. They protect against other things. Regrettable Meteor obviously kills him, but he's not playing Saurian, so Stephanie does not put Regrettable Meteor in Nick's deck because that would be a Maverick and that would be ridiculous. So instead, Hysteria is an uncommon, it's difficult to play around, and it does nasty things. Nick played Infernus again, chose to purge, not finished with you, I believe, is what he... No, we purged the Festering... I'm sorry, the discard that that does additional damage. I'm forgetting the name, I'm sorry, but deals 1 or 3 damage depending on whether the creature's already been damaged. He purged that card of his own archive to thin his deck and also deprive Stephanie of an Amber again, because that's the text of Infernus. Stephanie counters by playing a Rani, stealing 1, a Yangtze Gang, a Hugger Mugger to capture 1. I don't know if she got the capture. She's going to get it right now. There it is. And a second gang plays Pestering Blow, presumably to Infernus, deals 1 damage to Infernus and enrages it. There we go. And so that's a solid Shadow's turn. Played out 4 creatures, 2 of which have very good actions if they're allowed to live. So the board state that Stephanie has currently would allow her to steal 2 on an action and to reap for 2 if it's allowed to remain there untouched or unchanged, what have you. All right. So Nick is going to Star Alliance. We have not seen a lot of Star Alliance from Nick yet, so this will be interesting. We saw some earlier. That's actually incorrect. We saw some earlier. Helmsman is real good, but he's played a Transporter platform. That's a great card in Star Alliance, especially if he's leaving with other... Oh, my goodness. Oh, right, because he... No, I think that's actually his second Helmsman. I thought for a second he might have Hysteria'd it, but Helmsman was killed earlier, so he has 2 Helmsmen in this deck. Transporter platform, Comm Officer Kirby with a Hysteria. So in theory, in a certain scenario, Nick's deck could play Saurian stuff, get play abilities. Kirby, Hysteria off Kirby, return all that stuff to hand, then replay the replay the Star Alliance stuff for profit. That's a real good deck. We haven't seen a lot of the Brobnar yet. Just kind of very basic Brobnar. There's not a lot of complicated Brobnar, but pretty basic Brobnar. He played what looks to be one other artifact. I can't see. I'm going to go over to the table and figure out what that glare is, the artifact in the glare is. I'll be right back. Okay. So the artifact at the top of the screen is Snag's Mirror. That's the artifact in glare up there that I couldn't see earlier. Snag's Mirror was played off of Comm Officer Kirby. So Snag's Mirror is interesting. Let me see for a moment how interesting. It's moderately interesting. So Snag's Mirror says after you call a house, your opponent can't call that house. They only have 1 house in common. What that means is if Nick, say, were to call Brobnar, then Stephanie may not call Brobnar on the following turn. And in theory, you could establish some kind of interesting lockout of someone by continually calling a house that you think your opponent is going to want to call, or they have all the cards in their hand they want to call, and that would lock them out. A lot of times I find in practice Snag's Mirror locks yourself out rather than the opponent. However, here, really none of that matters because the only house they share in is Brobnar, and there's almost no universe in which I would be shocked, possible, but I'd be shocked that we would have a situation where one person would somehow win the game by locking the opponent out of Brobnar. Normally, you would not want to play a lot of Brobnar, so that just wouldn't be an issue. So it's really just a card that's being played for the Amber here. Stephanie calls Shadows, uses Subtle Maul to capture an Amber on the gang after she used the gang to kill Infernus. I don't know why she used the gang to kill Infernus. I don't know really why she I'm not sure. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I might have missed something. But she does use second gang to steal one. Probably just wants to reap here to kill. She captured one in the game because the Shattered Throne is on the table. Shattered Throne, I started to say earlier, is a two-sided card, which will allow you to it says anytime any creature fights, including your opponent's creature's fights, gain one. That creature captures one, excuse me. So your opponent can't take use of it, as Stephanie has done here, to capture one of the Yangtze Gang. It's sort of a weird situation because the Yangtze Gang is optimally used to steal. However, you're in a situation where it's the only real approaching beef you have on board. So you kind of have to make do with what you got sometimes. And she elected to kill Infernus. I don't know that I would have killed Infernus there simply because Infernus isn't really doing a whole lot, unless you have some knowledge that your opponent has, like, second Hysteria, which would be really gross. Who knows? Again, I'm not at the table. I haven't played her deck. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out what the plan is there. But Kirkhar is doing a lot of work here. And now we're likely to see some truly nasty things. Comm Officer Kirby has been played. So we now have one floating free action artifact or upgrade in a non-Star Alliance house. Helmsmaster has reaped. I don't know if Nick did not realize that he had to make the hand filtering decision right now. So he reaped with Helmsmaster. I don't know if... The other problem is there should be 2 damage on Kirby because of the... I think they're undoing Helmsmaster? Hold on. Kirby should have damage. Just a moment. Wait, did Kirby... Oh, no, Kirby... I'm sorry. Kirby was played. Forgive me. There was a second Kirby on the board. First Kirby was played. First Kirby was played, so we have a floating ability. Then Kirkhar reaped to take the 2 damage. Then Helmsman Spears discarded a bunch of cards to redraw a bunch of cards. We still have a floating Kirby activation that hasn't been used. That is, I believe, Medic. Medic is warning Helmsman. That's one of the few situations where you don't want Medic to ward themselves. A Cloaking Dongle is being played on second Kirby. We've seen no off-Star Alliance, off-house activations. We're probably going to see some now as second Kirby gets activated by Reaping. So we have 2 floating unused abilities. Berserker Slam comes out to kill Yangtze Gang. So he's gonna gain an Amber for Berserker Slam. He's gonna take the Amber from killing. She's going to lose an Amber from the Berserker Slam effect. Yangtze Gang is going to die. This is a huge turn of events for Nick, who's seizing control of the board currently, and he still has 1 more Kirby activation. He's going to Transporter... Oh, I forgot about Transporter Platform. He's going to Transporter Platform Kirby. He's returning Kirby to hand. He's playing Kirby and the upgrade again, gaining additional Amber from the upgrade. Man, if Stephanie has TMTP in her deck, now would be an excellent time to miraculously have it in hand. I haven't seen her hand recently, but that could definitely be a thing that happens. Replaying Kirby, replaying Transporter Platform. Now has 3 total abilities, so 2 more abilities to activate off of Kirby. So he's a pile of skulls. Oh my god, this Brobnar set. Okay, so originally I didn't think the Brobnar set was that amazing. However, he has Pile of Skulls, Ragnar, which doesn't really matter, and Shattered Throne. So Pile of Skulls means anytime an enemy is destroyed during your turn, a friendly creature captures 1. So that's some of the better Brobnar things in Worlds Collide. Still not amazing, but some of the better things for sure, if he can take advantage of them. Here's the thing, though. Oh, no, wait. He played... Forgive me. I do not remember if he played Berserker Slam before or after he filtered with Helmsman. If he filtered with Helmsman before he played Berserker Slam, and he had both Pile of Skulls and Berserker Slam in hand at the same time, it was a mistake, an unfortunate mistake, to play to play Pile of Skulls second, because when Berserker Slam killed Yinxie Gang, it would have captured an Amber on one of his creatures. It would have taken Stephanie off check. She would not have forged there. So if, again, I do not remember, if he didn't have Berserker Slam in after, if he played Berserker Slam before he activated Helmsman, which is possible, then that's obviously not a misplay because he didn't have the option to play Pile of Skulls first. But if he did have that option, that is an unfortunate misplay that did not allow him to take Stephanie off check that particular turn. So one of those things is true. We can watch it back later, I'm not sure, but we move forward right now. And I consume more caffeine and attempt to stay awake so I can determine the difference between those two things. Okay. And meanwhile, Nick's on check for 10. So he's got a lot of amber. Stephanie looks like she's considering going into Brobnar. She's got one key, so that's good. She might want to try to increase Nick's key cost if she can. I don't know what just happened. Did she play Volcano? I see Volcano with a discard. So some damage got dealt through a reason I'm not quite sure of. Oh, that was Lava Ball. Sorry, I thought that was Volcano. The art looks a little similar. Played Lava Ball, 4 damage with 2 splash. That's why certain creatures died and not everything. Meanwhile, she's played Grok. Mega Ganger Chieftain the Grok into something. She's deciding. Into Medic. See, the thing is, all of these targets are good, right? Except, well, maybe not Helmsman because it's got a cloaking dongle on it. So she kills Medic. He loses 1. It captures 1 due to Shattered Throne. She can use... So Grok has been, I believe, exhausted. I don't know why Grok is ready. Yes, Grok has been exhausted. She does not use Ire Staff. So I think I would probably use Ire Staff there in one of 2 different places. You can use it on your own creature. You can enrage your Mega Ganger Chieftain and make it bigger, knowing you're going to fight anyway. Or you could do something like in, I think the real good play would be to enrage, and again, forgive me if she just played Ire Staff, because if she just played it this turn, she couldn't have used it. But if she was able to use it, the play probably would be to enrage Helmsman. You give it a +1 power counter, but you really want Helmsman to die. And forcing Helmsman to fight into that board would be one way. There is an elusive Hugger Mugger that they could fight into, or Ronnie, but that's neither here nor there. We move forward. Nick forges a key at the beginning of a turn. He forges first key. He has 2 amber left in pool. We are still in the early stages of this match, but we are seeing a lot of back and forth action. As a reminder, as indicated on stream, this is a win-in match. That means that the winner of this match will advance to an incredibly star-studded Day 2 in this tournament. The loser will still be very proud of the performance they put in this tournament, but will unfortunately not make Day 2 due to the brutally hard cut here at Vault Tours, which is at all non-survival Vault Tours, 5-1, or you're done. I didn't even intend to make that a rhyme, but it is. So that's the cut of Vault Tours, and that is the situation that both players find themselves in this very high-stakes matchup. Nick is calling Brobnar again. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's called Star Alliance. He's Reap with Kirby. He's playing Tremor. If Nick's deck has a lot of actions in it, and it certainly appears to, a lot of actions, artifacts, and upgrades, it's a real problem for Stephanie to continue to allow, to the extent that she can deal with it, to continue to allow 2 different Kirbys to exist, especially when Helmsman is allowed to exist. Because Nick is discarding many things. One of the things Nick discarded was a Quintrino Flux. I don't know if Nick is aware that he doesn't... I don't say this like as a criticism. I just literally do not know if Nick is not aware that he doesn't have to discard the hand. The reason I say that is because I don't know if you want to discard Quintrino Flux there. So there are pros and cons. Pros, discarding Quintrino Flux, you're probably not going to play it right now on this turn. Allows you to draw a different card that you could use. Doesn't have to be Star Alliance. It could be a Kirby activation. And you're not likely to play it next turn, although you might. Cons of discarding Quintrino Flux are that you could possibly do some damage to Stephanie's board, although the power level of Stephanie's creatures is currently 7, 5, 5, 3/2. So you wouldn't get a lot of value out of Quatrino Flux right now. And you've stunned her other creatures. Oh, he has Science off. Is that Morpheus? I forget the name of the Star Alliance creature that doubles the play abilities, which is even grosser in this deck. So he plays Wretched Doll off of a Kirby activation. Wretched Doll is a wretched artifact. It's just real bad. It's too slow. You gotta call Dis 3 times once to play it. Unless you cheat it in this way, it makes it a little better. You gotta play it once to play it. You gotta call it another time to put a Doom counter on something, and then you must call it a third time to execute the thing with a Doom counter on it, the creature, presumably your opponent's creature, with a Doom counter on it. It's okay, but it's just generally really slow. It doesn't even have an Amber on it. I have no idea why it doesn't have an Amber on it. It should, at least, to compensate for how bad it is and how slow it is, but it is what it is. So, Nick, Transporter Platform Kirby up again, but another Amber for Kirby's Blaster. Stephanie is losing control of this board situation. It used to be the other way around. Nick had that very, very good turn where he played all the Kirbys, he played the Berserker Slam, and Stephanie did not immediately, she may not have been able to. Not her fault, but she didn't immediately deal with that situation, and it rapidly gets out of hand. You can also see that now with Morpheus on the board, the Transporter Platform is popping Comm Officer Kirby to hand, replaying Comm Officer Kirby, getting 2 play effect triggers, which means that it really doesn't even matter what Nick's hand is. As long as it's not creatures from a different house, he's going to be able to play all of them every turn, all the time, forever and ever, until Stephanie deals with it. But what do you kill first, right? Like, do you kill Helmsman? Do you kill all the Comm Officers? Do you kill the Science Officer Morpheus? Do you kill all these other things? I think we saw a volcano. Oh no, it was a lava ball. Excuse me, in discard. If she had another lava ball, that would be amazing right now. She plays Warrior's Refrain to stun all the -3 or below creatures, which is fine. That's good. She's gonna play a Brew to make. I assume that's Ganger Chieftain's Brew. She's gonna play a Brew to increase the power of her Brobnar creatures. And she's going to increase all of her... Sorry, got distracted for a second. She's going to redraw up. So unfortunately, the Warrior's Refrain did do an important thing there. The Warrior's Refrain did stun, temporarily put a halt onto, or at least delay onto the Star Alliance nonsense that Nick is engaging in over here. Unfortunately, Stephanie still only has, I think that's 3. I think there's a shadow there. It's either 3 or 4 amber. I think it's 3. It's a shadow on one of the southernmost ambers on screen, so I can't tell, but let's say 3. Nick's gone back to the Star Alliance. He's playing in Arms Master Melina. He's probably going to unstun all his dudes and dudettes and other individuals on the board. I believe there's been a request as to how Colby is doing. Colby, to my knowledge, is still playing in his round. Colby is 4-1 currently, and he has to win the next round to qualify for day 2. I don't know if his game is still going. But meanwhile here, Nick, as I said, does go back into Star Alliance, unstuns all the people, and doesn't do a lot of damage that turn. Does get to 5 amber, though. Transporter Platform does work, so he's back almost at check again. Stephanie is in dire straits here. Finds the Golden Spiral, unfortunately, way too late. It would have been great to have that earlier if she had Cincinnati's Rex on the board. Wow, she has Pompatus. So she's Pompatus, Odak, Golden Spiral, Library of Polysaurus. I think there was a Legatus Raptor earlier. Wow. Okay, so this is just really unfortunate for Stephanie because Stephanie is the victim of card sequencing here beyond her control. She has not had any control over this particular order in which the cards came out. And, okay. All right. So, did you win?
I did not win.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Colby.
I lost the game.
Your mom was asking.
Oh, hi, Mom. Hold on. I'm gonna say hi.
Hold on just a second. So, this is probably very close to over, by the way.
Hold on. Let me jump into this game.
All right.
All right. Talk to me about this. Let me talk to you about this game.
Sure.
Okay.
So
no, let me do a hot take.
all right, do a hot take.
All right. This is a complicated board. We have 2 keys to 1. Peace, man. All right, 2 keys to 1. So who is this? Nick? Are these names right?
Yes.
Okay. So is Nick winning with 2 keys? Yes, he's very much winning. He has 5 amber and 2 keys. He's pushing third. Stephanie's got a smaller board. Some of it's stunned. A lot of it's damaged. The Helmsman Spears is very strong. And he's got the double play effects.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what's this guy up here? Is that also Star Alliance?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a 6-star Alliance board?
Kirby, upgrade, transporter platform.
Okay. Nick is poised for the kill. Nick is about to win this game. Can Stephanie bring it back? Let's see. I see. Okay, let's pretend there's a Crassosaurus in there. Let's pretend there's a Tribute. Tribute doesn't help. You really have to Axiom of Grisk, which, hey, look, you got to draw the board wipe to win the game. Everyone says that.
So Stephanie has Cincinnatus Rex, Golden Spiral, Legatus Raptor, Tribune Pompatus.
Is that the chat?
That is chat. I don't know why. Apologies to chat. I just realized that chat was not showing up on our screen for some reason. That people have been talking.
That's not something I know how to do.
I don't know. We're gonna figure that out in a minute.
Did I pop out the chat?
I don't know.
Whatever. Okay.
So, at any rate,
interesting.
At any rate, Stephanie drew her Cincinnatus Rex early. It was killed when Nick's board went empty. She didn't draw the Spiral until just now, so she could have done some truly nasty things with Saurian. She's just a victim of the card draw RNG in this game.
And also Nick's board is not resilient at all. And he's even got his that Brobnar thing out, so his things are taking damage.
Yeah.
And every time something fights to capture an Ember. But look, Stephanie's whole board is stunned. Are those stunners? Yeah, they're stunners.
Yes.
And he gets 4 stunners a turn with the platform. Wow. Stephanie just needs to kill like the Helmsman Spears and a Kirby.
So there was a Lava Ball she played earlier to good effect, but ironically, and this is the first time I've ever said this out loud in public, she desperately needed a Volcano.
Volcano would have been
She needed a
wonderful.
Volcano 3 turns ago.
That would be a great play.
I can't believe I've uttered that phrase in public. Volcano would have been OP. In that particular instance.
It would even be better than Ammonia Clouds here.
There has never been a better place for Volcano. I don't even know if Stephanie has it in her deck. Normally it's not a card you particularly like, but in this build, you desperately needed a Volcano. But unfortunately, Nick has a bonkers Star Alliance house that just goes crazy and has done some very, very wild things here left unchecked. I think Stephanie did her best to try to check it, but she just wasn't getting the right cards at the right time. You can easily see how if Stephanie, for example, had Cincinnatus Rex, or like 2 turns ago, along with the Spiral, she could have individually picked off all the Star Alliance creatures, reaping for great value, got huge hits. You can easily see how she could have very, very, I don't know easily, but she could have won this game if she had that earlier and Nick was unable to respond.
Okay, I'm reading back to the chat.
Yeah.
You guys all are great. Look at this.
Yes, the chat is
Hi,
very cool.
Mom.
We were just apologize to everyone who was talking about us in chat. I actually got pinged on Discord by a friend of mine who told me that that there were things happening in chat that I was apparently ignoring and unaware of because we were not able to see it on screen. So apologies for that, chat and everyone. And that looks like it is it. I assume the players are scooping up. Or no, wait. No, I'm sorry. I think someone played Kymor. Apologies. That is not it. There's a Kymor Eclipse in play. Did I see a TMTP in the discard? Did I miss something?
I mean, okay, so Nick has oodles of amber. He's got a whole stack of it over there.
Yeah, she's got to have TMTP and a steal. That's almost certainly what she has.
I like
to
how
have.
she's playing it out one way or the other.
Yeah.
But, I mean, okay, if she plays...
She does.
Oh.
Oh!
Hold on. Hold the phone.
Okay.
Can she stop the Forge?
I think she has Nerve Blast in hand in addition to TMTP. I thought I saw that.
That would be big. Okay, so can Stephanie win the game off of this? Like,
This just got extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so she gets a lot. She's at
And what is that?
Pestering Blow. Okay, I hope did she have Nerve Blast as well? She kills one Kirby.
And the other Kirby was gone.
I thought I saw Nerve Blast. Did I see Nerve Blast?
Yeah. No, this is she's playing it out.
So the gang was stunned. Oh, if the gang wasn't stunned, she could have stolen an extra Amber.
She could have also fought with the sacrificial altar, the shattered altar.
Oh yeah.
Or the hugger.
Oh no, they were stunned. She
they were
couldn't have
stunned.
fight
They
it
were
with
stunned.
Yeah. She had no outs.
Oh, so that's it. And that might have been a game. We might have almost had a game.
And
there.
she had she just I think was able to play a subtle maul. Did she just play the subtle maul?
No, she just played that down. That doesn't do anything.
Well, oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking it's a long day. I thought
It's
it was
a
skeleton.
long
I thought it
day.
was skeleton key.
Anyway, congrats to everyone. This has been a fantastic game. Congrats to Nick. The top 8 is stacked. Hi, we're here now. And yeah, I wanted to take a moment to talk about a couple things. But after, maybe we can get them over here.
Yeah, you want to talk to him?
We'll talk to them in a second.
We'll talk to them. Yeah.
But can you hand me that box?
The cube?
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about something. Now,
Yes.
Now that the games are over, I'm actually
cube.
I'm a little happy about getting eliminated because I have a project I've been working on, and we ran it last night, and it's actually
Better than Project ZYX or XYZ
what's Project XYZ?
or the card Project.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Bad Keyforge humor.
Bad joke.
Yes.
But it's okay. Hold on. Let me just do this so that this looks all right. Bah. Yeah, it works. It works now.
Oh, hey chat. Hi.
I don't know why that arrow is there, but it's fine. Anyway, everyone has been wondering what to do with all of your decks once you
Determine they're not good for anything. Not good for any particular format.
yeah. Hold on. Andrew. One moment. Hey, can someone get if they're in Okay, cool. We're trying to get them over here. Everyone's wondering what you do with your old decks that you don't really want to play, because that's the thing that happens with this decks. You end up with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 decks that you want to do something with, and everyone talks about different things.
Right.
I decided to make a cube. This is the BD cube, the legacy BD cube.
I love it. I
And
absolutely love it.
Props to the name by Xavier. And the idea is that here are 450 cards. They're all sleeved, and I cannibalized maybe 40 decks or so to make this thing. And the idea is that you draft this as you would a Magic deck, right?
And how do you determine what people start with to draft?
You end up picking, you do 5 packs of 10 cards. There's 450 cards, 50 cards for 9 houses. Each house is divided into 15 commons doubled, so that's 30 cards, plus another 20 cards that are uncommon.
Any rares?
Uncommons and rares. Really, the ones I want in the queue. The ones that I think are cool, right? The only uncommon that's a 2x is Speed Sigil, because if you know me, I like
Speed
it is.
Sigil. No,
yeah.
of course.
That's the
of
only
course.
non-common that's a double.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So. Also, this chat isn't scrolling.
Yeah, I think that's why there's an error there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But like that's a new message that's not coming up on chat.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta recopy this. I gotta properties. I gotta fix this. Hope this works. Okay, fixed it. Okay. Oh, I'll talk about more about the BD Cube in a second. Eric, I want you to interview Stephanie if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Because you watched the game.
Yeah.
Eric watched your game and commented on it, and I'm sure he has a lot to say. It looked fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
How you doing? Welcome.
Hi, good. How are you, Eric?
Welcome. Very good. Thank you. How you feel?
A bit tired.
Yes.
But
Ditto. Yes.
Yes. But no, overall It was a really great tournament. I'll get a little closer.
No, it's fine. The mic, there's just a lot of ambient in the room.
Sure. This is my first time playing in a Vault Tour.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you did exceptionally
Yes.
well for your
Thank
first time
you.
playing in a Vault Tour.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoy the sealed variety. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think the team here did a really good job organizing it.
Yeti's really good.
Yeah.
They've stepped up their game and continue to do so for sure.
Yeah, everyone has been super nice and helpful, and it's been really great.
So let's talk about your deck a little. So
Yes.
I was it's interesting to me whenever I cast around when I have not seen a sealed deck, because I play it sometimes. Sometimes I know the deck list, sometimes I don't. I did not know yours, which was kind of entertaining because seeing, like, kind of picturing what the deck wants to do as you see the cards develop. And when I saw Rex come out early, I'm like, does she have Spiral? Does she have Spiral? And then, like, turn before game ends, we see, oh, she has Spiral. Oh no! Like, it was like, I'd imagine you've done a lot of damage with that combo throughout the day.
Yes.
When those pieces arrive on time.
Yes. In fact, my game before this, I was down like 2.5 keys to none with very little amber, and managed to win that game.
Just out of Rexing nonsense.
Using, Golden Spiral with the Rex, and then I had the, I don't remember the exact,
Legatus Raptor?
no, the one where, the Saurian deck card where you reap and you get to look at the 3 cards.
Philosophosaurus.
Yes.
Philosophosaurus is life. That is so good, yes.
And so I was able to store away all my Shadows cards.
Yeah.
And so when he did finally get enough for his 3rd key, I was able to steal or
Yeah.
capture and take it away
Yeah.
and just reap like crazy.
Yeah.
So,
And that's very impressive. And that's Cincinnati's Rex plus Golden Spiral is a crazy
yes,
combo.
it is. It's pretty good.
I thought it was interesting that both of you had Brobnar in the deck. Not again, like I'm a bit of an overboard critic of Brobnar.
Sure.
But obviously, like, the rest of your deck is very good, and even the Brobnar does some stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
How hard was your deck selection choice?
So I was able to rule out one right away, which,
Right.
funny enough, was the only one without Brobnar.
Is that
Yep. But as I was taking notes going along through it, there were definitely some cool combinations in the other deck I was considering.
Yeah.
But it relied more heavily on cards arriving at the right time. Looking back at my notes from this deck, I just wrote Baller Dino deck.
Okay.
And so, like,
Points. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So that plus I had the too much to protect and some steal and some capture, and so I thought that it had, and even in the Brobnar, it had a lot of ready and fight with this creature or ways to fight with creatures on the first turn. Right? So I had Gengar Chieftain, Mega Gengar
You had the
Chieftain,
Mega,
and
right? The Mega Gengar
Mega,
Chieftain.
regular, and Delaka. So I had ways to use my Brobnar cards immediately. So get them out of my hand, use them, maybe clear some of their board, and Brock, so they could lose one. So there were some decent creatures there to make it wild.
I had this weird moment where I caught myself saying a thing that I never thought I would say in public, and that was towards the end of your match, where I said, wow, the best card for her right here would be Volcano. I've never said that out loud before. And again, but like, how did you feel when like towards the end, the creeping fear that I can imagine that comes over you, because it's happened to me many times when someone starts the Starline's board, you're like, look, all I need to do is kill this one Kirby and this one Helmsman, okay, and this other Kirby, okay, and this other thing, and then maybe that other thing, and just like, it just spirals out of control very quickly.
It does, and they're all, like, a lot of the effects are play, fight, reap, or fight and reap, and so even to enrage the creature doesn't prevent them from being able to use their special ability, right? And so that was a bummer. I did have some, like, so I had the Volcano Ball to do some damage, direct damage, and I had the stun 3 or less.
Yeah, well,
was very helpful.
You definitely had things. That was just like a funny side note I had.
But my major board clear, I discarded at the end to make room in my hand.
Yeah.
So I discarded at the beginning to make room in
Axiom,
my hand.
yeah.
Yes, Axiom, yeah. And I just didn't have the power there to clear it out.
Was there any consideration of playing Axiom when you discarded? Because it was a marginal call for me. Like, I looked at it, I wasn't sure. But there were like you would have killed at least 2 of you. You would have killed 2 of your creatures. You would have ward something.
Yep.
And you would have wiped off 3 creatures on the other side of the board. I don't remember what they were.
Yeah, I was worried to give myself the chains in the beginning.
Yeah, that is a problem.
And then they also had dis, right? So you don't know if they have binding irons.
Yeah.
And so in the last
no,
game
that would be
lost.
that's an excellent point. That would be real. It's real bad when you give yourself chains to do something because it wouldn't have been a super productive axiom.
No.
You just would have done a little bit of stuff, and then if you add more, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And so this is your first fall tour.
It is.
Did you play in the Archon or?
I did.
You
I
did. How did you do in the Archon?
I went 3-3.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
This field is stacked.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There were definitely some really close games.
Yeah.
Some of them went to time.
Yeah.
So I'm now much more familiar with
the
time rules.
Yes, the lovely time rules we have in Keyforge.
Yes, than
indeed.
before. So that's good, helpful, good takeaway from this experience. But I've found that everyone we've been playing with has been super nice.
Yeah,
it's been a really enjoyable experience, right?
Yeah.
Like no one, it's been a very good experience.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad you joined. Have you played any other card games before this?
No, I haven't.
Really? How'd you get into Keyforge?
Yeah, so my husband played Magic back in the day.
Okay.
And when this came out last year, he was very excited because he, knew about Richard Garfield, Magic,
Garfield,
all of that, And so we bought the starter pack, and we just grinded through that starter pack time and time again until I finally won. Because I lost a lot at the beginning.
Listen, that's how you learn the most when you lose.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that is how it works.
Yeah, and so he was very, did a really good job of walking me through it. Also some of his, okay, well, this is what I would have done differently. Yeah. And we are both very competitive. And so we found this to be a really great 2-person game.
It is, yeah.
That has a lot of variety. So you just change out the decks, right? And you can even, and so it had a lot of, we haven't gotten bored yet. We just play it. We play it a lot, and we play it in our local board game store. We've met a lot of really great people that way, which has been fun.
Yeah. Where are you from?
So I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
There's a couple of us here actually from Battleground Gamings in Norwalk, Connecticut. Awesome. We did the team event yesterday. We all had matching sweatshirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Cool.
So that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And it's been great. They've been stopping by because some of them are playing in Magic. Right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So you can't see the stream. You can kind of get a feeling from here. This huge hall.
Oh, there's so many tables
everywhere. There's a huge Magic contingent over there. There's X-wing over here. You can see the X-wing behind us. And yeah, it's crazy, but that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been fun, and it's been really great to see everyone and cheer each other on. And
definitely,
it's been a good time.
Very cool. Well, listen. Congratulations. Anyone you want to give a shout out to for free? Colby's mom says hi and good game.
Oh, hi, it's Colby's mom. It's so nice to meet you.
Colby's mom hangs out on our streams a lot. It's cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, really?
No. So, by all means,
anyone good? All right.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I would like to say thank you to my husband Jacob for teaching me this game and coming here today and having an awesome time. I did much better than you today, but that's okay. It's okay. We had fun.
Shots fired. Okay.
And real quick, I'd also like to say hi to my mom.
By all means.
Hi, Mom. I'm on the YouTube. Okay.
Indeed. Well, congratulations. You played very well. You should be
very
happy.
much.
Very happy with your performance.
Thank you.
As always, we can find things to nitpick, but again, it's a lot of times it's just what cards you get, what decisions are available to you, and
and you learn and you do better next time.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Of course. Congratulations.
Really
well played. And we'll see you around. How was it? Was you good? Is it good? All right. Yeah. Good? Yeah. Hey, man.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are part of a very, very elite group right
Sweet.
now. The day 2 in this tournament is per capita. The most stacked Keyforge tournament I have ever seen. Not trying to throw anything on you. It is bonkers.
Okay.
The people that I know, I mean, I've been to a lot of these, obviously.
Yes.
The people that I know.
How many have you been to?
This is if you count the doubles as 2.
Okay.
And you count the grand championships.
Okay.
13.
Wow. Okay. That's a real deal.
I'm a sick human being. Don't worry about me. But I can tell you that I know at least all the U.S. good people. I'm sure there are a lot of good people in Europe that I don't have a lot of interaction with.
Sure.
But all the U.S. good people that I know, pretty much to a person, 80% of them, I think, are in this tournament, and they're almost all in the top cut. The top cut will be, and I don't say that to give you a hard time, but listen, if you want to test your mettle against the best players in the world,
gotta bring it.
Tomorrow is the day. But let's talk about this round.
Sure.
Coming into this round, how did you feel about your deck?
So by the time I got to this point, I felt like I had a real shot. I tell you, when I opened my 3 decks, it was Trip Brobnar across my 3 decks, and I was like, uh-oh, guess I'm playing Brobnar.
Guess you're playing Brobnar.
And the first 2 decks looked really rough. Like the first deck was Brobnar with like double Volcano and like triple Bad Penny, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
The others have to be better.
Not a good combo.
No. So saw this one, and I was like, okay. Brobnar's got some beefy boys. We got a couple key control stuff going on in Dis, and Star Alliance looked for real. And it didn't look to me like a deck that I would ever be like sight unseen be like, I'm gonna bring that to Archon.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Take a picture of the final standings for me and bring it back. Thanks. I apologize.
No worries.
I'm going to tell you who you're playing next
tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Go ahead.
That's exciting. So, yeah, it looked interesting, but also very odd and weird. So, I was like, all right, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
And,
No, I mean, that Star Alliance house is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
What's
nice.
it like? Double Kirby Helmsman.
Yep.
Transporter platform.
Yep.
Do you have 2 stunners? What do you have?
No stunners. It was a cloaking
Cloaking
device
dongle.
and the blaster for the medic.
Medic. Oh, you have medic. Forgot about medic Ingram. Medic Ingram and a blaster.
Yep.
That's absolutely bonkers. That's really, really good. Yeah, that is a deck.
Yeah, it's the real deal, right? So multiple times. So throughout the course of the tournament, basically using Helmsman to often just ditch 5 cards, right? Play one Star Alliance, ditch 5, draw 5 new, use the Kirby's to play out various actions and artifacts and stuff, and just keep rocking the Star Alliance, get all that Ember.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you were glad that you found something definitely playable is an understatement, given that you're in day 2.
Yeah. Found
something good.
Yep.
How did this game compare with your previous games in terms of like the way in which you won?
So I had 3 games go to time because you've got Shattered Throne, you've got Pile of Skulls, and that's like a lot of my key control. So and then your big Brobnar guys just capturing a ton of stuff. So a bunch of the games went to time that way. Some other games went to time because I actually played 2 different Piece of Cord decks, so I couldn't fight into stuff.
Yeah, Piece of Cord is pretty good against Brobnar for sure.
Yeah. So one of those games, basically, I don't know if I ever called Brobnar. I might have once, but I basically played those artifacts out of Kirby.
Yeah, you just ran into Star Alliance,
just drew a handful of Brobnar, threw them away, and just kept jamming the Star Alliance.
Yeah.
So
flexibility. So one of the things I found is having flexibility in your decks, both through like house cheating, like with Kirby, and that stuff is real good. But also having strategical flexibility.
Yeah.
Right, having the flexibility to say, all right, this matchup is not that great for me if I play it in the normal fashion I've been playing it. Let's switch to Plan B, and your Plan B is outstanding, right? Like it's just Kirby nonsense Star Alliance.
Yep.
So, at any rate, looking forward to day 2.
Totally.
Is this your first? Have you played Ball Tours before?
This is my first time.
This is your first.
Yeah. So I'm local. So
I came in. There is so much talent coming out of the weeds in Keyforge. Not the weeds, but there's so much talent coming out
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's weedy. But so you should, first of all, hearty congratulations
Thank you.
on how you performed today. You performed
Thank you.
extremely well.
Yeah.
You'll listen. Just dive into it tomorrow head first. It's going to be awesome. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, feel free.
My wife for letting me come to this, I guess.
That's important. No, that's very important.
Yeah.
She gave a shout out to her husband, but then reminded him that she did better in the event.
Nice.
So probably wouldn't recommend unless you have that sort of
relationship. Well, my wife had no
the
losses in this event. Just saying.
That is 2 fewer losses than I had in this event. So let me tell you.
There you go.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
Best of
Thank
luck
you.
tomorrow. Thank you for playing.
Yesterday I wore my BDQ sweatshirt. but I did not today.
Well,
for the stream,
definitely.
unfortunately.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
all right. You were
Yeah.
featured prominently, and you did very well.
There
You
you go.
acquitted yourself excellent. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Jeff Colby back in here 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. I promised you. I promised you a
yeah,
message.
yeah, what we got?
1
What do we got?
second. Oh, so you're 10, right?
Looks that way.
So if I'm doing the math correctly, and I'm usually pretty good at
You're
this,
always right at this.
you, my friend, are
Okay.
going to face Vault Tour champion Nathan Starwalt of TTR
Take him
Alright.
down. You can
All
do
right.
it.
I'm
in
doing it.
round
I'm
in the
I'm in.
play-in round
This is
into
good.
round 8 tomorrow.
I'm good. He's know it's gonna hit him.
So, well, there you go. Shots fired, TTR. We'll see what happens. So, good luck, man.
Good stuff.
Go
Thanks.
get him. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Sleep well.
Will do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to
Eric,
close it out?
Thank you so much
Of course,
for the
man.
stream.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'll close it out.
All right.
Appreciate it. And, maybe you'll cast a little bit tomorrow or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
definitely. I'd be happy to.
Oh,
We'll
right.
chat.
Let's wrap up. Okay, this was a great day of casting. Thank you so much to Eric and Team SAS for helping out. I might cast tomorrow. We'll definitely be streaming tomorrow. I'm a little worried about the timing of the finals in my train home. We'll figure that out tomorrow. But we'll definitely be bringing you as many games as possible. And tomorrow I'll be running the Legacy BDQ, which if you want to learn more about, I'm probably going to make a post on Reddit or Facebook or something. One last thing. So once you build your cube and you put all your favorite cards in it in your right proportions, you get to do another cool thing, which is make a Legacy cube. So you get these stickers from the Fat Pack, you cut them vertically, you put them in here, and then you get to maverick out the cards when you draft them. And then the whole cube gets to evolve and change as you draft it and as you play it. And every cube becomes kind of its own thing. And I like to let people sign the cube after they play it. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, and I'll make some sort of post about it. But otherwise, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for anyone who watches this in post. Thank you for the players, the casters. Joe was helping me earlier today. Shout outs to him. The New York crew. Hi, Mom. Thanks a bunch for being here. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks a bunch.